How's it going, everybody? Today I want to give my impressions on Division 2 and whether or not I feel like it's worth it. Is it any good? Is it any fun? Did they improve anything? I've had a lot of people ask me in my stream and in my Discord whether I like this game or not. But I've held back my opinion because I really wanted to just kind of sit back and explore as much of this game as possible so I can have an actual opinion on whether or not this game is worth to buy. So I hope in this video I can answer some of that question along with my own perspective. I've looked at a lot of other reviewers and what people in the community have said about the game so far, and I'm just going to touch on some of the things that I feel are important and what this game it has to offer. So in this video I wanted to be able to fully share what I feel like with Division 2, and I'm just gonna go right out and say it that I've had so much fun, and I've been trying to keep skeptical and find reasons why I won't like this game this whole time, and I really came up short. There was very little that I can say bad about this game. I very much enjoyed Division 1. It did have a rocky launch, and it did have a lot of it kind of stammered all the way through its 3-year process of improving, and the game right now, as far as Division 1, is the most complete that it's ever been. But I won't say it's a perfect game by any means. There's still plenty of problems with it, but they are much smaller and much fewer of them as there were before. But in Division 2, they just kept that momentum going, and that you could tell that they really poured a lot of their passion and love into this game. Everything from the leveling to the level design to the sound to just how everything flows together, both in the story and everything that you do for the story. Everything just flows right through it. It just goes into, it's a perfect marriage between an RPG and a looter shooter. And the first thing that kind of comes to my mind is when I think about what I'm going to say about this game is I look at Anthem and how much that game was hyped up, and I feel like everything they were trying to talk about with Anthem and advertise what Anthem was trying to do or trying to achieve, I feel like they were honestly advertising the Division 2. I never felt any of the stuff that Anthem advertised in that game, but in Division 2 it was everything that they were talking about. You got the seamless world. You got this engaging storyline. You got this, everything you do impacts the world around you. In the world now, it's not some dead, empty, abandoned ghost town New York or whatever. It's a vibrant and lively city of DC that things are happening now. You do got more people around. You got events that happens. You got reasons to explore the world. They reward you in these small ways that you will, you can go around the world and explore, and you can open up the containers and crates and bags and suitcases, and you get all this crafted materials or different kinds of stuff that you need to use later on in these different activities that you'll find in the open world or at your bases. And it was so cleverly done that I didn't really notice it until after a while. I was like, holy shit, I'm just kind of like wandering off. And my original plan for the Division 2 to play was to get to level 30 and just to do the in-game content, because back in Division 1, I was programmed to not really care about the leveling up process and all that. I didn't really feel engaged with it. It was cool, the environment was cool, like I said, but in this game, I started to care more about the leveling process and everything that they really sunk into this. Like I said, the map designs on this is brilliant. It's so diverse. It just feels good. There's a mission that I thought was like one of the coolest, was that you're in like a Mars theme, because you're in like a science museum and you fight on like a Mars theme. And I thought that was like the coolest fucking thing. There's more. There is more that you fight in, but I'm just saying that was something that blew my mind. Of course, you got the dynamic weather. It rains, it gets super foggy, it gets sunny, and like I said, there was also activities, like random events that happen, out in the open world. You'll be roaming around, you'll be going to a safe house, and all of a sudden you have to go save hostages from being executed. And you want to do that because not only does it reward you with crafting materials or XP and such, and possible good gear, but it's an activity that you probably have to do for one of your settlement projects in the game. And you're probably asking, what's a settlement project? So in Division 2, there's these settlements and different places that you have to kind of upgrade, and they're kind of like mini bases of operation in a way. But the projects give you XP, and there's a certain amount of requirements in order to complete that, whether it's you have to donate, you know, crafting material, gear. So there's another reason why they keep gear and not just, you know, grab it, throw it as junk, and then move on. You know, you want to save it, and of course you want to mark it as junk if you're not going to use it, because then you can donate all that to these projects and get rewards from them, and a good chunk of XP actually. So they give you a reason to kind of go and explore the world that they've created. It feels more lively with wildlife and people, you know, convoys, like enemies going from one point to another, or allies going from one point or another. You come across engagements between the two. Like, stuff is actually happening around you, and I didn't mind, you know, running to different places instead of just fast traveling. And there's more places I feel like you can fast travel in this game than you can in Division 1. But I didn't really feel like doing that because, well, I didn't mind exploring the world and getting materials and XP along the way. I really feel like I could take my time and really enjoy and soak in everything that they poured into this game. So, as I said, the seamless world, you can start from one end of the Dark Zone and go to the very other end of the Dark Zone on the other side of the map entirely without one single loading screen. Not a one, guys. And the only loading screen you'll get once you're in the game is if you fast travel. And the loading screen's like 30 seconds, you know? And that's it. Otherwise, you go into missions, you go into dark zones, you go into your strongholds or whatever, and you're already, it just starts happening. There's no loading screen. And I thought, that's so nice. It was such a relief to be able to have that. So I want to talk about, you know, any new players that want to play this game, or returning players that haven't played the game in a while, and what that will be like and what's different about it. And you know, one of the things I'm going to say is, if you're a brand new player and you want, or if you want to get into the looter shooter genre, I feel like this is a great opportunity, a great game to get into at first. Don't bother with Division 1. It's not that it's a bad game, but this game is a little bit more new player friendly, but it's not a casual. There's still a lot of depth to this. Extremely a lot of depth. But the reason why I say it's new player friendly, especially for the Division series, is because it introduces you into these new concepts, and it really feels like it tries to kind of teach you how to play the game, or how to teach you how to play the game, how the game wants to be played. From introducing you to the gear at early levels, it starts introducing you to set gear, so it kind of subconsciously makes you start paying attention to stats at early stage of the leveling process. It doesn't just dump it on you like it kind of did in Division 1, and it was like a crash course, you had to learn everything. Here it slowly starts to introduce set items and gears and stuff like that, and you can start building your character from the get-go. And that whole bullet sponge enemy thing, you know, enemies only felt bullet spongy in the very beginning, and not really, but in the very beginning, the tutorial mission, it did, because you have no gear and a basic weapon, and that was it. You know, so of course it took just a mountain of bullets to kill that elite. But I'm level 28 now, and I feel like elites are no problem. I feel like I can just waste them. I mean, I can't exactly face tank them, but I can. They're no longer an actual like challenge, but they're still just as fun to kill. And so, like I said, the gear sets that the game introduces you into makes it much easier for you to understand the game, along with some of the other tutorials, and the fact that the Dark Zone is part of the main mission, or not main mission, but the story kind of thing, and it kind of walks you through how to play the Dark Zone as well, what to expect, and how to navigate all the things about the Dark Zone without other players. And the first time you go through the Dark Zone, I will just say that there are no other players. It's just enemy players, or not enemy players, but just AI, and that's it. Because they want your experience to be a good one, at least to be educational, and not some player coming in and just wrecking your shit, and it just kind of, well, fuck the Dark Zone kind of thing. Because they made vast improvements to the Dark Zone now that your levels actually matter, and the fact that you can lose certain like stats or effects, or you know, different perks as you level to the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone has its own level in itself, and it's actually worth trying to level up so you can get these different perks, and you have a risk of losing that. and I feel like they really brought new life into the Dark Zone while keeping what the Dark Zone was still about. And it's a little bit more organized now, and I feel like it's a lot more enjoyable to actually get into. One of the things that I want to point out, or not point out, but talk about, is the story. And really not even just the story, but the game itself as a whole. I've heard a lot of criticism from different reviewers that the Tom Clancy franchise hurts the game. It holds back the game. And because it doesn't have variety of creatures or enemies such as aliens, demons, zombies, that sort of thing. And I am just going to straight up disagree with that statement. I don't think the Tom Clancy hurts the franchise, because let's be real. It's not that, aliens or a zombie type creature isn't maybe theoretically, realistically possible. And there goes my phone. It's not that it's theoretically possible or impossible, and that's why they're not doing it, but it's because Tom Clancy's never been about that. Tom Clancy's never been about zombies or aliens or any of that stuff. For anyone that's actually played the Tom Clancy's, any kind of Tom Clancy series, they know it's more about espionage and military science and technological threats and stuff like that. It's more about that than it is about alien invasions and that kind of stuff. So I really feel like aliens or zombies would actually hurt the game, hurt the Tom Clancy series. And it's like throwing zombies into James Bond or Bourne Identity. Both those series, and it's very much like what Tom Clancy is. So if you like James Bond and Jason Bourne movies, you'll like this game. And I feel like it's unfair to say that it doesn't have variety in enemies, because I feel like the personality differences between all the different enemy factions that you come across are diverse. They are different from each other. They do have actual character to them. And yes, of course, there is, since it's a looter shooter, there's going to be like the same, cookie cutter enemies kind of thing. But even those enemies have show a little bit more character this time around, calling you names and all kinds of shit at you. And I feel like, if you don't like Tom Clancy, the franchise, because it's not aliens, then you're not a Tom Clancy fan, and that is perfectly fine, and that's perfectly okay. But please at least understand that Tom Clancy has never been about that, and this game still holds true to what Tom Clancy's fantasy really has always been about. And just real quick before I move on to my last topic to talk about, I just want to say that it is such a relieving feeling to not be disappointed with this game. I have been looking forward to this game for a really long time, and I was hoping that they were going to make Division 2 back in Division 1, and that it was going to be better, there was going to be more, and I couldn't wait to play this game. But at the same time, I was a little skeptical, and I've had too many games that have been disappointing in this day of age, I feel like. And to not be disappointed with this game, I'm really overwhelmed. I truly, really am, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself with everything they've gotten so far, and I already feel like it was worth the purchase. Like I said, I can't say much about in-game, but if in-game is even half as good, and they poured even has half of their passion to what they brought in the leveling and the map designs and just everything I've gotten and have experienced so far, I'm not going to be disappointed. And I feel like there's a lot to come in the in-game part of Division 2, and I'm very much looking forward to it. The very last thing I want to talk about with this game is the microtransactions. I have to give the Division so much respect and the people that made it, because even though that there are microtransactions in this game, there are no pay to win, pay to progress, or any kind of content in the gift or the cash shop that is in-game quality. And to top it off, they don't even bother to promote, advertise, or notify you that there is a cash shop, which so many games, even if it's not a pay to win or a pay to progress game, they have some way of telling you that there is a cash shop, and they give you some kind of incentive or reason to visit the cash shop in a very kind of maybe intrusive or annoying way, just so you know that's there. And in this game, I found it by complete accident. In fact, someone had to tell me about it, and not really directly tell me about the cash shop, but someone told me that because I bought the gold edition to go and play early access, that I got, you know, a couple cool little features, you know, cosmetics. And I went and I into my stash, I went into find the cash shop, and there was like an icon that had like a little jacket silhouette on it. I clicked on it, and it was all my clothing. And then from there, there's like a crate that you can see, and that's where the cash shop is. And it felt like it was so on the back burner, or not the back burner, it was in the background. They didn't throw it in my face, they didn't notify it, they didn't bother to break my enjoyment of the game. And I feel like that is such a huge thing that a lot of people are going to overlook, and I feel like have overlooked in this game. It's the fact that even though they have this cash shop, and yes, you know, companies want to make money, but they had enough respect for us and enough respect for themselves that they decided to not throw it in our face, break our immersion, break our enjoyment at all. And all the stuff that they offer in there are fun, silly little things that I'd be more than happy to pay for emotes, clothing, or whatever. And I respect them on such high, I just respect them so much for that. And I just want to say thank you for not doing that. Thank you for not throwing it in my face. Thank you for not showing your greed and making this beautiful game that you obviously have spent so much time, effort, and love and passion on building and improving, that you didn't want to ruin that experience with showing how much you want to make money. And for that, from One Division fan, I gotta say thank you. Thank you so much for that. But I think that's gonna do it, guys. There is a lot that I could have honestly covered and touched on, but like I said, it's just go and explore this game for yourself. They did a fantastic job on this game on so many levels, and every subject that I wanted to hit on deserves, you know, a 10-minute video. It really does. Go and buy this game. Even if you like Division 1 even a little bit, go buy this game. If you're a new player and you're wondering how good, if this game is even worth buying, do you need to go play Division 1? Go buy this game. You will, it's gonna be a treat, and I feel like it's completely worth it. But anyways, you guys, tell me you guys what you thought of the video. I hope it helped you guys out. Again, this was just my perspective. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later, guys.
Target down. Good job. Looks like you earned yourself another bounty. Well done.
Sure, blame the controls. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.